We are so watching Friday morning, and my guests are seated and poised for this conversation. You know, Richard has been wearing suits lately, but today he decided to ditch the suit for kaftan. I'm wondering where he's going from here. Good morning, Richard Manarubi.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you?
Super.
But I like the color on you, though. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everything of mine is nice. when a Sejua call me and tell me what to wear in the morning, and I wear it, I look nice.
So you had a communication with the Sejua?
Every morning with her.
Every morning. Yeah. Why are you dating her? Is she your girlfriend?
Oh, no, she's not.
Okay.
She's not.
But she can be potential?
Oh, very potential.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything is possible.
Richard Manarubi is representing the NDC this morning, and he's very poised for the conversation. He said, I have a lot for you today. On the ticket of the NPP is Manasseh Atabwahin. Good morning, Manasseh.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you today?
Very well. You know, I used to wear kaftan a lot.
Okay.
And he used to wear suit. And
That's
I would
true.
swap.
That's true.
Yes, and I'm enjoying the suit.
You know,
you are looking nice as well.
Thank you.
We actually, we are twinning. We are twinning today.
Yeah,
yeah, but really that's so we are in African way. Yeah, it's but that's Rosie, let's see if every Ghanaian every MPP economist, they are always in suit. Let them want to lie. They will be in suit. We've
not begun, and he's
Richard, why you like this? Why you like this?
You know it.
So are you by that?
Let's go and play all that.
Richard, do you mean during your time, your finance minister was always lying, and even your president
was always in suit.
Was lying whenever he wears suit? Is that what you're trying to say?
Mr. President?
No, Mr. President doesn't wear suit.
Not always in suit.
So whenever he's in suit,
whenever he's in suit,
he lies.
He's going to
is that what you're trying to? Is that what you're trying to mean?
Let's quickly read what the newspapers have for us. I'll quickly read the front pages. Save democracy in sub-region. President urges ECOWAS Parliament. Don't hold yourself as a tutor of Allah. Chieftaincy Ministry tells a lawyer. PRESEC celebrates 85th anniversary. And at Ghana CEO Awards, Bawumia urges business leaders to champion SDGs. Graphic MD is CEO of the Year. Print Media. Fantastic. Congratulations, Atwafo. Oh, okay. It's Atwafo. I know Atwafo, though. Congratulations. The Daily Guide newspaper. Educhum is the most innovative education minister. Pressby moderator says so. We've not bribed Ken Ejapong for VIP. You know, Kennedy had his rally over the weekend, and he said that he alleged that, Bawumia's team had approached him to offer him the running mate, but he declined it. And they have actually come out to say that that's not true. Well, Kennedy will definitely fire back with this one, because that's why you say, I have proof, I have evidence. Mema will show down. Agenda 111 hospitals coming up. Ghanaians in Germany hail economic recovery, and Nanado touts STEM achievement. Okay, so Ghanaians in Germany who don't live in Ghana. Nice. The Finder newspaper. EcoBank pledges continuous support for SMEs, MSMEs. Cocoa farmers in Ghana enjoy $211 more per ton than Ivorian counterparts. We never approached Kennedy Ejapong with a running mate offer. Dr. Bawumia's camp has clarified this, but we are still waiting for the evidence if there's any. Government chair entreats BOG governor to remain focused and steadfast. Presby Church moderator hails Dr. Educhum as most innovative education minister in Africa and speak against term limit extensions. Akufo-Addo demands from ECOWAS leaders. The Ghanaian Times newspaper is the next newspaper. The Ghanaian Times. Stop impeding judges' work, Justice Doche to chiefs. 6 Doma divisional chiefs sign pact to protect lands against galamsey. Enforce bylaws to address sanitation challenges, MMDA's taxed. At second ECOWAS parliamentary seminar, let's stop presidential term extension, President urges African leaders. And apprentice welder jailed for mining under high tension cable. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. Kennedy Ejapong takes NPP elders to cleaners. I'm not like Alan, he warns. But how is Alan like? Ken says he's not. But, the 4th of November is going to be quite interesting because from the things that Kennedy said during his rally, it means that if he doesn't win, he might not take it lightly. It's a fact because he's alleging that he was approached, to become a running mate for Dr. Bawumia. He's, taking the leadership to the gutters or to the cleaners. And will he be okay if he comes in second? Will he take it lightly, or he will just say, you know what, just one of those things? Well, Afenyo Marking berates schools, says they are retrogressive. SHS students doing science up 25%, says the President Akufo-Addo. Minister to Agbeko Vodogu. I hope I got it right. Stop holding yourself as a tutor of unlaw. Presbyterian moderator, Lord's Education Minister. Ghana Feed newspaper. Bawumia not collapsing. NPP campaign team dispels on truth. Kennedy Japan gives Wontumi showdown. SHS students at risk as GES MOE recruits quack health personnel to undertake free health screening. KGL to increase CSR budget for 2024 with much focus on mental health initiatives. And 89 Agenda 111 hospitals, 52% complete, 67,635 persons to be employed, says the President. And the Economy Times is our final newspaper. Government saves $2 billion as it puts on hold debt servicing. Economy activity shrinks and government to spend $1.3 billion more on healthcare next year. Investment firm says so. That'll be all with what the newspapers are reporting. Let's quickly delve into our top story, which happens to be Ghana Airport versus Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. Now, it's somewhere last week in our intro, I had this conversation. I actually spoke about it. Somewhere last week, Joy FM actually, or multimedia, let me put it like that, put a fine or sued Ghana Airport total of 200,000 Ghana cedis for refusal of giving out documents. Now, we have the right to information as a media house. Hence, the Ghana Airport was supposed to have provided every single document, but refused to it. Hence, we went to court. Now, upon all of these, they still did not release these documents. Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa says, do not worry at all. I've got this covered. I have all the documents. I've secured it. He released it to the press yesterday. And some of the things that are in there, well, I can't say it's alleged because he has released every single document, telling us how the deal was secured, saying that some of them were very corrupt because it did not go through the right processes. Now, let me take their opinion, our guest seated's opinion, then we can have subsequent discussions or subsequent questions on it. You at home, we need you to join this conversation because it's about you and us. I'll start this conversation with you, Richard Manaribi.
First, let me say good morning to you and good morning to your cherished viewers and good morning to the good people of Nkwanta South constituency and Oti region as a whole. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, say good morning to you. And then he appreciates the job you are doing.
We are still waiting for him to come on the show.
He will definitely come. He says I should tell you that the media freedom that have been stacked when it comes back to power, that building the Ghana we want, your media freedom will be liberated. But Rosalind, this morning has not been a good morning actually.
Why?
Because yesterday night we woke up to hear a sad story of the demise of the.
I should have said it.
For the demise of the former First Lady, President Kufuor's wife, and she has passed. May so rest in peace. On my way.
Let me say something small because yes, we actually are praying with the family. It's a very difficult time. Not just the family, the whole of Ghana mourning a former First Lady, Mrs. Theresa Kufuor. God called her to his side yesterday, and we know it's a tough time for the family and every single Ghanaian out there. And so we are praying for the family and we are praying for ourselves at this time. Ghana is mourning, very difficult time. May her soul rest in peace.
And then on my way to, when I just got here, I also had another sad news that the former Minister of State, former Council of State member, E.T. Mensah, was who passed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I just heard. I don't know how true it is.
Let me try and check it.
Yes, I don't know how true it is, but I saw on the platforms. And even City News just reported it now that he's also passed.
He's also passed?
Yes, and I don't know what is actually happening though, but then that's why we need to build a good health system. And then may their soul rest in peace. For him, it's unconfirmed though, but with the former First Lady, I can boldly tell you that's a fact of it. But Rosalind, so what is happening? So Rosalind, that's what I just saw this.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's actually out.
Yeah.
So former Ningo Prampram MP E.T. Mensah has passed on.
Yeah.
Wow, very difficult week for Ghana, isn't it? And
his service to our party and the nation as well, the longest serving youth and sports minister and member of Council of State. He served the NDC well and served the nation well as well. So it's not all that easy for us as a nation.
Yeah, very difficult.
Losing two great people on the same day is really, really a difficult thing. But media should rest in peace. And we are all part of the family because they've been public persons. So we are all mourning together, and I believe that it will be fine. But Rosalind, in as much as all this is happening, tomorrow we are occupying BOG. And I'm hoping that tomorrow you'll be there so that our money that is lost, the BOG that is collapsed, should be there. So building a Ghana we want, as President John Dramani Mahama has promised you and every ordinary Ghanaian. So we are also saying that the government of Ghana should scrap the unnecessary taxes on the dialysis that they are putting on to the ordinary person. If you go to the hospitals today, a lot of people are suffering out of the dialysis. So people are also losing their life. I don't know the situation.
But last week, Kolebu actually did address
it. It was when you people gave them pressure before they came out with a communique. We don't even know how true it is. And if you even read the communique, you could see that what the people were saying is true. And so what
the people said was true because we actually cited a receipt, and I have the receipt here. I'll read briefly on what the receipt says so that people will know that what we saw is not a lie. It was out there. So the receipt, the name was covered, and the person pays 765 Ghana cedis, 42 pesos, and is for the dialysis. So it says Kolebu Teaching Hospital OPD receipt. Payment of 765 Ghana cedis, 42 pesos.
So all this is a deed of the Minister of Health and the Ministry of Health. Who also sit in cabinet with the President of the Republic of Ghana. So the President John Dramani Mahama said he was so worried about this incident when he heard it. So he even issued a communique that when this government, pleading on government, that is to scrap those things. But if they don't even scrap it, we can assure them that in 17 months' time, if they are still alive, they are not dead. Because dialysis is very important. Because some even take it twice a week. Yeah, so we are assuring them that we will look at it and scrap it for them to get a quality, good health care. And even that, we might even reduce it and make it affordable for them to have a long life to live. It is very painful to lose your life. It's very painful because of financial crisis in this economy. So when somebody is sitting in Germany and is happy of the boosting of the economy, it's coming and say somebody cannot afford the dialysis of a 750 Ghana cedi a month. So this is where we are as a nation. So all boiled down to, I'm bringing all this, all boiled down to health. Frontier, the issue of frontier that we are saying. We've said it time and times that. And let me just recommend and then thank Joy FM for the multimedia for the bold decision you took. You see, one would tell Ghanaians that this government does not believe in democracy. They do not believe in information dissemination. People think we are joking. The RTR bill was passed to make sure that any information we want and we apply it. And Manasseh is even in that office himself. He understands. Then they can release those information for us to be every ordinary person will be accountable to it. We told you, Rosalind, for some time ago that the frontier, you look at the frontier was established on August 31st. And by the following day,
September,
they started operation. And if you even check the information we have intercepted, you could even see that HEFRA, that's Health Regulation Authority, before you set up hospitals, Rosie, you know, and I think you've done a lot of jobs in most of the hospitals that have been closed down in this country because HEFRA think that they have not missed standardization of its operations. Most of the clinics have been closed down in this country because they feel that HEFRA feel that they have not met the standard of standardization. But this company was established the following day they started operation. But Rosie, the most painful thing that I've seen is that even procurement authority, that they even have to do commitment of their certification was not also done. And this is the country we live. We ask this country. I have personally sometimes ago checked, did a very good follow-up when I heard that, because I know Terminal 3, over 1,000 Ghanaians, people passed through the Terminal 3 in and out, and then when Frontier was set up, Frontier takes $150 for ECOWAS. No, they started with $150.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, they said ECOWAS countries should be paying $50, and non-ECOWAS countries should pay $150. And amazingly, do you know when you pay that money, the only government of Ghana, what they get is only $10?
Well, that's what they say.
Yes, no, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Well,
but in fact, from the beginning, it started with $4. Before it was increased to $10. And so you remember the first accountability they did to Ghana, that they made $14 million, and the government of Ghana got only $1 million from out of it. And so I think that Murtala even raised that issue, and it was so painful that look, we have a hospital like Noguchi. When this COVID started, Noguchi was the people that was started fighting the COVID-19. Kolebu Hospital, we have government of Ghana who said they needed $100 million to set up a testing center in Tamale and in Boku. You remember, in Navrongo. And then they had a parliamentary select committee on finance. With an emergency meeting, the government was, at that time, Parliament was not even in recession. And they came to do that approval for them. And Rosa, I'm telling you, if you go there and see that, they only did painting. Government of Ghana didn't use anything for it. Government of Ghana has made a lot of money on COVID. And Finance Minister told you that after the COVID and they put in a COVID levy and everything that was done, we used to have about 6 million Ghana cedis. In Parliament, he said it clearly in Parliament. And they used for budgetary support. I flipped out from Appendix 1 to the last appendix. I didn't see where we use the COVID money to do the support. And Frontier has come to dupe this nation. Frontier goes to Kolebu, go to 37, pick lab technicians there, and come and put them at their container there. And they pay them 900 Ghana cedi a month. And they make huge amount of money out of this. And meanwhile, I've made that assessment. That look, we sit in this country, banks were collapsing. We need a revenue to subsidize our banks. Hospitals are this. Why do we give a company like Frontier, and Frontier go and take this huge amount of money? Because Frontier is a Nigerian company, it's not a Ghanaian company. And then put their money into First Atlantic Bank. Korean Commercial Bank is there. All these banks are there. And then you will do all these things and dupe the nation. Try to make sure that they make all this money out. And you know who owes Frontier. This person that owes Frontier is related to someone at the presidency.
Okay.
And so we don't need to do that as a nation. Okay. So I think that this country, the way corruption is going, the way they are looting the state and taking the state's resources out of this country, is a very big problem. Rosalie, our cedi dollar has been very high, and the finance expert will tell you because of capital flight. Okay, and then you take all this money out of the country.
Let me bring
and we sit down as a nation and we think we should clap for them.
All right.
So let's say kudos to the multimedia and Sami, the son of man. But a good job he has done.
Your Captain Planet.
Okay. He's a Ghanaian Captain Planet.
Okay.
Rosen, let me say a very good morning to you and to Richard and to our cherished viewers. I mean, on Saturday I was at Obuasi, and a gentleman just approached me at the supermarket, A-Life supermarket, and he tells me he watches.
Oh yeah, Obuasi, we are very big in Obuasi. I
was surprised.
Very big.
And the feedback was superb.
Say what the gentleman was saying. The advice he gave you.
A very good morning to the gentleman.
The advice he gave you, that's stop lying.
He told me we are breaking the 8, whether you like it or not. So that is for your information. And we are all saddened by the demise of the former First Lady, Theresa Kufuor, and the former minister under the NDC, E.T. Mensah. So our thoughts and our prayers are with their respective families as well. Rosalind, on the frontier issue, I want to maintain that our government is very critical and deliberate when it comes to information dissemination. And it is for that reason that we established, or we brought forth, the Right to Information Act. And you see, the Act in itself allows state institutions to operate such that even without people asking for information, you are supposed to update Ghanaians on what you've been doing. And the moment a person is able to file an application, or the person puts in a request sourcing for information, it's up to the respective ministry or agency to provide information in that regard. And that is how come there has been a fine of 200,000 Ghana cedis being placed on the Ghana airports also. And I want to mention that it's important for them to come out and explain these things. The reason is that when you look at all the issues raised by the Honorable Member of Parliament, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, as at now, I have not heard any confirmation to verify the claims he is making. Even the letter itself, we are not too sure whether it is true or false or whatever. And so I would want to say categorically that this government has nothing to hide. We are not shielding anything. And we want to be transparent enough. In fact, if you would remember, the president himself said that he would demonstrate a high level of accountability to Ghanaians. And it is for that reason that the president has charged the Ministry of Information to be the outlet through which various ministries, departments, and agencies would hold regular briefs to update Ghanaians on what they are doing. Because you see, the reality is that we are doing a lot. We in the NPP, we've done a lot when it comes to roads, when it comes to health and everything. And sometimes we have little challenges letting Ghanaians know what is happening. And so with what is happening with the Ghana Airports Company, I will also say that we are looking up to them to provide information. As ICT, I do not have any confirmation whatsoever on the authenticity of the document, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has raised. But I only want to maintain that government is not hiding anything. And I am confident that very soon, the Ghana Airport Company Limited would provide information.
How soon?
That's why I'm joining in for us to call on them.
I like that you're joining, but this is where the problem is. When a government institution where it's headed by an appointee from the president decides not to release information, knowing very well that there is an ITI bill, you wait, and you are hit with a fine, and you are still holding documents. What do you have to hide? And that is what people ask.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. These are genuine concerns by Ghanaians. Once someone has filed for information, and after some days, the information isn't forthcoming, it is up to them to come and explain why, as of today, they are unable to release information. Otherwise, it makes it difficult because I will not sit here and pass value judgments on it. I have no information whatsoever on what is happening over there. And so it will be out of place for me to even mislead Ghanaians by going into the cracks of the matter to say this or that. Whilst I have no information, it's up to the CEO and the board members themselves to lead the conversation in this regard. Otherwise, it makes it difficult. But I'm only saying that the president himself and the government have demonstrated high level of accountability. When you look at what the various ministries are doing, and there has been various instances, other ministries and agencies, you will not even put in a request, and they would let you know what's happening. The moment you file in a request, they will make sure they are able to release that. And I'm calling on the Ghana Airport Company Limited to do same, so that all these issues relating to the frontiers and all of that would be brought to bear. And we would know that this government is not for duping the nation and all these Kululu people are alleging. Because you see, the more it delays, the more we give these people the chance, the NDC the chance to throw in stuff that are not true. And Ghanaians generally, Ghanaians will raise genuine concerns.
Exactly.
You see, Ghanaians will raise genuine concerns, but the NDC will do propaganda and impugn a lot of falsehood in this regard, which may not be true. That's why I am also worried.
This is where the Ministry of Information comes in, because that is why he or that body is there as a ministry. So if the information is not being released and you realize that there's a fine, you have to quickly step in and release the information. As of now, this morning, nothing has been said that what Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa has released is false and this is the real document. So why do we even have this document coming in? We have a discussion on it. When are we getting the real document?
Rosalind, the Ministry of Information do not have, information, first-hand information across all the other ministries. It is the various ministries, departments, and agencies who would share their information through our channel. So the Ministry of Information on its own cannot, without getting in touch, without collaborating with the respective agency, cannot on its own provide issues that are factual in this regard. That's why I'm saying it's important for the Ghana Airport Company Limited itself to provide information. Otherwise, it will be off, and the Ministry of Information cannot.
It's hurting the government.
Of course, you see, it allows room for a lot of negativity to be said. And the danger is that the more it delays, by the time you would come out with the facts, some negativities would have been registered in the minds of people already. And so it may be difficult for you to even go back and correct all these things.
So why the hold? Why the hold?
I wish when the people or the executives
actually know it could harm the government, where you know that elections is in less than 14 months, less than 14 months, and this definitely is not going to help the government. So and that is why I asked the question with regards to Ministry of Information coming in. You at home can join this conversation. Do send in your messages to us. Would love to read it. We want to hear from you as Ghanaians. Now, our topic this morning, we have other topics we'll delve into, but the first one we are talking about has to do with the frontier contracts. Now, when COVID came into being, everybody had to do a COVID test if you're traveling out of the country or you're coming into the country. Now, the kind of test that you had to do, you were being charged $150 initially, but it reduced to $50 if you are from an ECOWAS country, and if you are non-ECOWAS, you still pay the $150. Multimedia actually wanted documents to this effect, but it was refused the documents, hence fined Ghana Airport 200,000 Ghana cedis. Even with this fine, the Ghana Airport has still refused to release the documents. But Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, in his power or his capacity as Captain Planet, managed to get these documents and has released it to the media. And the kind of information in the document is quite alarming. Manasseh, representing the NPP, is actually saying that he's urging Ghana airports to release the documents because he believes that nothing, fraudulent is in there, so they shouldn't hold the documents. My friend Richard Madurobi is of the opinion that there's a lot that is happening, and that is why they don't want to release it, looking at the kind of document Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa has released. Now, the question here is to do with if this document released by Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa is really the document or is an alleged document.
It's a very authentic document.
It's authentic.
Very, very authentic.
It has not been confirmed.
No, it's very authentic document.
It has not been confirmed.
We won't know. We won't know.
It has not been confirmed.
We won't know. No, Manasseh, we know. Whether the ministry give information or not. Rosen, whether you have the information or not. We had Noguchi frontlining COVID. We had the Kumasi Center of Research frontlining COVID. We have Kwelebu Teaching Hospital frontlining COVID. Why do you go and bring a company from Nigeria that registered with a day and the following day started operation? Meanwhile, there was these three institutions that started. Why did you go and take over $100 million that you were going to set up centers whilst you know you were going to invest in Frontier? Is it not true that you take $150 from ECOWAS country, non-ECOWAS, and $50 from ECOWAS? Is it also not true that you started paying government of Ghana $4 and you moved to $10? Is it also not true that all the workers that were working at Frontier were from Ghana here? How much do you pay them? What was Kwelebu doing? What was Noguchi doing? And you sit here and think, what document do you want again? I mean, you have not been fair to
if this is really
true. It's also not true that let us do a common mathematics. that over 1,000 people pass through the airport every day, and you take $150, if you calculate this, it's about $130 million. How much do you pay to government of Ghana? Where is the $130? If you take $130 million today, how many hospitals will you have built? How many renovations will have been done? Can't you have used that money to do something? Is it also not true that the money that you are talking about, the $130 million was paid into a foreign account, not a Ghanaian account? So what are you saying? Manasseh, what are you saying? Do we even need authentication of a document or common sense to talk about this? How do we leave our country so loose for other people to come and dip us and go because of collaboration, malign us, looting, sharing? That is where we are. We are young guys.
If this is true,
we should be honest.
If this is true, then it means that Ghana's procurement laws were actually flouted.
Very flouted.
The procurement laws actually says that you should allow different companies to bid for something. But with the kind of document that we have received, or the kind of document that Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is presenting, it actually shows that other companies were not allowed. It was done in the dark. And Frontier was presented.
Rosalie, even if you read the document further, I'm just a minute. If you read the document further, you will see that the company registered on 31st.
Yes, that's what it says.
And it started in operation
on the 1st of September.
As at that time, there was no certification for HEFRA.
Okay.
They operated over a month or two before they got certification for HEFRA. How can you on this earth put an institution like HEFRA? I do not have a regulation of it.
All right, let me bring Manasseh in.
You see, there are a lot of issues, genuine concerns that has been raised by the honorable member. And a lot are very technical. That's why I'm calling on them, because if they don't provide information, it will be very difficult for anybody, even me. Hold on, Richard, let
him make his point.
I don't have any information. I would have spoken to it.
Richard, let him make a point.
I don't have any briefing.
Please make your point.
I don't have any briefing on this airport stuff. That's why I'm saying it's important.
But haven't you read what Honorable?
I have only read what is published online. Okay. I don't have briefs on any official communique from the Ghana Airport Company Limited itself. That's why I am calling on them as the first-hand information handlers to put forth a lot of information so that we'll be able to establish some of these facts. I mean, and procurement processes do not happen in a day.
Yeah.
The letter only states the activities of the Frontier, company or organization. And whatever led to them being selected wasn't stated in the letter over there. So it cannot be said that procurement processes were breached. For a lot began in the pipeline. That's why I'm also calling. Hold on.
How is that possible?
That's why I'm saying it will be important. It will be important for them to come and explain what led to the Frontier, company being selected in this regard. Why didn't they select Noguchi or the one at KNUST and the rest? It's important for them to provide technical answers to these things. Otherwise, it makes it difficult for most of us to even respond to this, because as I sit here, I don't have any brief on it at all.
Okay.
At all.
But what I wanted to interject is that the company was registered, the following day it started operation. So why do you talk about procurement? How was it? Was it procured while it was not registered? Does that make sense? You register a company on 31st. The first you started operation. So how do you do procurement whilst a company is not registered?
Well, we want to hear from you, who is watching this morning. I mean, Manasseh is saying they will answer for themselves. Yeah. They will definitely answer for themselves. But point 5 actually says, in a total rip-off, the government paired the offer letter asks for a fixed share of a measly and wickedly unpatriotic $10 per test, as Frontiers keep $140 per test, considering that Frontiers was charging each passenger $150. So this one, 2.6, I'll quickly read it briefly, and then maybe we just take a final take on this topic, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Shockingly, Frontiers was asked, according to the offer letter, to make a paltry and insulting payment of only $97,109 as proof of acceptance of the offer for an exclusive control of the upper arrival Terminal 3 of course, Kotoka International Airport, regardless of the fact that Frontier stood to make and has indeed made profits worth hundreds of millions of dollars. All right. Your final take on it, and then we go on
you
to
see, even the commitment is they are asking, the government asked. Frontier has already started operation before you are asking commitment. When I started operation and I made a $10 million, and he asked me to pay $900,000. What is it?
So it's not even $1 million.
It's not even $1 million. So what is it? You see, so it's very unfair. I don't know. Have you been to the Texan Center at the airport?
Yes, I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there severally, and if you see the number of people that troop in there to run COVID tests, even people outside the airport will even go there to do their COVID tests, and they've made a lot of money. You see, so my point is that it is not bad to give a company a contract, but Noguchi, Kolibu, and other centers who have done this and get money to strengthen our research and laboratory sectors in the country.
Okay. Manasa, your final take on this one, and then we can.
Right, you want to tell us to come and answer?
Richard, will you allow him to make his point? Why are you doing this, Richard?
Richard is doing the entire.
I know, right? Don't mind him.
Yeah. So you see, my final take is that the Right to Information Act facilitates information dissemination, and it's up to every ministry, department, or agency to provide information when people ask of it. And so I call on the Ghana Airport Company Limited to, as soon as possible, explain itself in this regard as it relates to the Frontier's operations, because there are a lot of critical and technical issues that have been raised in there, and I don't work over there, so it makes it difficult for me to explain these things. I don't sit on the board, I'm not a management member as well. And so if they delay in providing this information, they make it difficult for those of us in government with them. Yeah. Because it's very difficult for me to sit here and just conjure certain things just to say in this regard. So we call on them. We are all interested in the information. But what I also want to say is that government is very critical. That's why we ourselves brought the Right to Information Act. And there is a fine. I'm sure beyond the fine, there are a lot of, other punitive measures that could be, triggered in this regard. And so I call on them. We all call on them because we are all interested in the happenings like this. Because my government is not like the NDC government, which were so saddled with a lot of corruption-related issues. We are not. We have the SADA issue. We forgot it. Even the Ford issue.
What did that have to do with Frontier?
And the OSP even tagged the former president as government official one. We've not forgotten these things.
You continue.
We have not.
Okay. You see where you want to go?
No, Richard. No, we've not forgotten these things. And so I am saying, if we had cause, or if we had even thought to hide things, we will not even birth this Right to Information Act. We would not.
All right, so we are calling on Ghana Airports to actually release the documents. Let's read some messages. Don't worry at all.
I'm not worried.
Good.
Since you are here, I'm not worried.
Yes, you have your time. Good morning, Rosalind. It's irritating to say the least when members of the NPP come to national television suggesting to Ghanaians that they want to break the aid. Is this assertion not an insult? Breaking the aid to exactly do what differently, or still want to continue subjecting Ghanaians to this unprecedented hardship? Time will tell. From Prosper Picky. Thank you so much, Prosper. Prosper, we were in the Volta region yesterday. Jerry Prime was in the Volta region. Joel says, good morning. Good morning, Joel. How are you? Greetings to you, Joy Prime. It's always better to seek your information from the right sources rather than inviting NDC and MPP to the studio and do their usual politics. Sometimes you don't help we the viewers at all. Nana, Nana, they also have the information. They don't sit here aloof, right? They have the information. And every time we have a discussion, they do their research before taking their seat. But we'll definitely try and get you some resource persons as well, okay? Alaji Hamza Pig Farm says, good morning, madam. It's sad to see functionaries and communicators who always try to insult the intelligence of Ghanaians and put that into our eyes. If you care to know, Ghana today has become a laughingstock in the eyes of the international community when it comes to the fight of corruption in this country. President Nana Addo has no political will to fight corruption in this country. Mother, just take a look at the amount of money that has been spent on the cathedral. A common stone was imported from Israel for the foundation of the cathedral. 21 houses of our judges have been demolished. Our passport office, the scholarship secretariat is gone, and other state properties are all gone simply because of this cathedral. They should stop insulting our intelligence. Good morning, Madam. I extend my greetings to Honorable Richard Manurubi of the most successful political party in Ghana and his good friend, Honorable Manasseh. Madam, we can't take the words of Nanado lead NPP government serious. So sorry for Honorable Manasseh of the Elephant family. He's a fine gentleman, but unfortunately aligned himself with the wrong party. Right to Information Bill is nothing than a slogan which the NPP has masterminded. The way this government is treating us Ghanaians, I will soon leave for Togo in the coming days. Please tell Honorable Manasseh I want him to finance my transport to Togo. Elagui Kelvin from Pandai constituency. All right, Manasseh. Today you're being called Honorable.
I'm surprised.
We have armed robbers dressed in nice coats, trousers, and polished shoes managing our resources. They are selfish and wicked, and they refuse to know that all is a vanity. Patrick Accra. All right, thank you so much. You at home can also send in your messages. Now, Agenda 111, we've been talking about it for so long. We've been wanting to know when Agenda 111 is coming to being. And finally, the president has spoken about Agenda 111. He says that 89 hospitals are actually 52% completed, meaning that it's more than 0.5% completed. Now, he says that over 65,000 persons will be employed right when all these hospitals are completed. So we are looking at somewhere next year where we'll have a full completion of Agenda 111. It's good news, isn't it? Only if it will happen. And we hope it does happen. Let me start this conversation with you, Manasseh Sabwahi.
No, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was you. Manasseh ended that one. I'm sorry.
Yes, so
thank you for the reminder.
I mean, we are good friends. So,
okay, please go ahead and make your point.
See, but Rosalie, before I talk about Agenda, the uncompleted hospitals we are talking about, it's very sad when my young brother sit here and then talked about that the NEC and President John Dramani Mahama was full of scandals. your government, as we are talking now, if you want to check, we have 142 scandals that you have involved yourself in, even to the extent that people are keeping millions of dollars in their bedrooms. You know that, which is so sad as a country. You are aware of the corruption tax that have been tacked on this government. We all clearly know that the most corrupt government on this earth, the whole world, is the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government. And it is very clear. And you sit down and tell us that you brought the RTI bill. You passed, it's under your regime. And the Parliament of Ghana has passed RTI. RTI was started by President Rawlings, if you're aware. It was in Parliament for almost 30 years before it was passed. Your government, at the time of your government that has been passed, that doesn't mean that you brought the RTI bill. You never drafted an RTI bill. And now that you even pass it, you definitely even give information to anybody. Anytime you want information, don't give us. Even yourself, you are sitting here, you have information. You don't even give to Ghanaians. You are a government spokesperson on the economy, for goodness sake. And you can't tell me you don't have any information about the state of economy. And you know because of the corrupt aspect of this government, unemployment rate of it. Now you're talking about Agenda 111, and you say it is a good news. President John Dramani Mahama has built over 1,000 cheap compounds. Just in 4 years. He built polyclinics, almost, if I'm not lying, over 20 polyclinics. President John Dramani Mahama has built a maritime hospital, has built a Bolga hospital, the Upper West Regional Hospital, has built the Bank Hospital, has built the Quaternary Hospital. Do you know what is a Quaternary Hospital? The whole of Africa, you will not get any hospital apart from the Legon Hospital, specialized hospital. And this has created close to 1 million jobs. And I'm telling you, it's running a 24-shift economy. And you told us that during the COVID time, you told us by the end of July in COVID, you were going to complete all the Agenda 111 hospitals. In 2020, he was having a pickaxe and a shovel roaming around all the country. Carter saw that by 6 months, he was going to finish with the state money. After that, he came to tell us that we were overly ambitious. Didn't he say it at the State of Nation address? That he was overly ambitious, so Ghanaians should forgive him. Today, 7 years, you are telling us that it is 50% completed. 52% completed. Someone has used only 4 years, did most of the jobs that you are talking about. Just one Agenda 111, it's been 111 hospitals. Meanwhile, somebody has used 4 years to build over 2,000 to 3,000 hospitals in this country. And how many jobs has it contributed? I have worked in the health sector before. In the health sector, we run three times shift or 2 times shift. Even those medicals and paramedicals. And so you know the number of jobs President John Dramani Mahama invests in the health sector. And not even that, we strengthened the national health insurance policy and made it a move from mutual to the national health insurance and moved the drug list. See, under President Kufuor, the drug list was only 25. We moved from 25 to 136. Added major surgical cases. In those days, if you have hernia and you're going to hospital, you need to pay. If you have fistula, you need to pay. If you have lipoma, you need to pay. But President John Dramani Mahama has built the hospitals and made sure all this and that. The other time I was telling you about Dodua Hospital. You remember those days when you go to Kodiabe, Agomenya, and those areas, women were dying. But President John Dramani Mahama has built 100 bed capacity to make sure that it is specialized in maternity. And this is a visionary president we are talking about. He didn't even end it there. He went, look at Rich Hospital, invested huge in Rich Hospital, expanded most of the hospitals in this country. And it comes to products, I thought he was going to commission, I thought he was even going to commission a chip compound. This is a government, in 7 years, has not even built a chip compound. Not even a chip compound. And that is where you are. You shouldn't celebrate a liar. But we are telling you that when we come back, we have a vision for Ghanaians. We have done it. When we come back, we are going to put up 6 new hospitals. You are aware. For the 6 new created regions. Because we have done it before. And we are trying to put up a big and ultra-modern infectious center so that all the infectious areas will be treated with. And we're making sure that we train people from that. That's why we started building the universities. You know, the University of Allied Health at Ho. That was our vision, to make sure we train people in the health sector, being it paramedical, being it medical, and whatever it is. Then we look at sustainable Minister of University, the one in so many, I always forget that university. So we're able to put up 4 new universities and then make sure that we put up structures to make it in place. Please, President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, just commission one chip compound that can employ 3 people. Then we'll know that we are very capable of managing this economy. Okay. You take care of this. You sit here, the Minister of Health has embezzled your money, Hajiman Sputnik. For COVID, we are talking about COVID. How much was spent? When an African Union, AU, and UN has had a cap of the drugs, you went to Malam Issa, that he was going to provide this COVID vaccines. And look at what happened in Parliament. International community are watching. We are so disgraced as a nation. But Ghanaians will have hope. In President John Dramani Mahama, we will make sure we restore this nation and build the Ghana they want.
Roslyn, you see, for Richard to mention that we have not even built one chip compound is sad. And I'm
just name one. Just name one.
Will you allow me? So, Richard, please. I don't know if he follows the conversation or if he travels at all. Because across the country, we have built a lot of these hospitals, and I would mention some
fully commissioned,
commissioned. Exactly.
People are in there taking care of patients.
So today, when you go to Solar, you find a hospital we have built from the scratch. You find one over there.
So
when you go to Richard, will you allow me, please? I can interrupt you.
No,
you know I can do say.
I
can do say.
Richard,
so just allow me.
You don't throw that into Ghanaians.
Richard,
millions of people are watching.
Richard, you have your time. Let him talk.
But you don't lie.
Let him talk.
You build
when he's done, you have the opportunity to actually counter what he said.
But when he's talking, I'll do so.
Just write your points down.
I don't need to write. I know it.
So you write your point. So when it gets to your turn, you have your point, please. Richard, Manasseh, please make your point. Sorry.
I am saying there are hospitals and chip compounds we have built and commissioned, and they are working today. So when you go to Solar, you find one over there.
Agenda 111?
No.
Okay.
These are commissioned and they are working already. Okay. I'll come to the Agenda 111. So you find one over there. Yes, Solar. You go to Bupe, you find one there.
What is the name of the one at Solar? Or you have
I just know there's one over there. You even go to Bamboy, you find one over there. And even Dodowa here, you find another one over there. So you see,
so you built 3?
There are a lot. There are a lot more hospitals we have built.
Oh, wow.
Now, with the Agenda 111, you see, in the advent of the COVID-19, government realized it's unfortunate for you to know that there are certain districts in the country which do not have hospitals. And so government decided it was going to beef up our health infrastructure so that every district in the country would have a befitting hospital. Now, what government has done is that across the country, we have a lot of these projects ongoing. And on the average, they are around 52% completion rate. The interesting thing is that in all these 89 sites where the hospital are being built, you would find indigenous contractors working, and they have employed Ghanaians who are on site working every day. And I'm glad you are showing the video over there. And on the average, you find about 120 workers on site. And it has been estimated that when the project is done, for the district hospitals, we expect to employ a little over 500 people. And for the regional hospital, around 1,300 people. And there's a huge investment government is making. And our aim is to ensure that once the project is done, everybody in this country would have a befitting hospital in his or her district, so that it wouldn't be the case that when you are sick, you would have to commute for long hours before you have access to basic health care. I mean, so government is very deliberate about that. And we are also very much concerned about the completion rate. A lot of these projects are around 70-80% completion. And when they are done, we would have to bring in some more equipment to ensure we are able to kickstart with the hospital. And it's estimated about 48 of these projects will be completed by end of year. When it comes to resources, to ensure that these projects,
we should have commissioned
exactly,
a few.
Exactly.
Because they want votes.
Exactly. So when it comes to resources, there are a lot of resources. And if you recall, about some 4 months ago, government had to terminate contracts of some of the operators or contractors who were delaying. So money really isn't the issue over here. And government is ensuring that these contractors would have all they need to expedite the work on these projects, because the health of people cannot wait. No one will agree if you would want health infrastructure to be delayed, because by the time we delay, most people would have lost their lives. And so we are very critical and deliberate about ensuring that we would have more hospitals being operationalized in the country, so that it will never be heard that in this country you go to a district and you will not find any health service. And let me also mention that this is the huge health infrastructure project that has been done in the history of this country. Not even in Nkrumah, not even NDC, no one has done this before, to ensure that deliberately there is a policy that is being implemented to ensure that almost every hospital, of course, we have about close to 100 districts that do not have hospitals today. And that's how come we've targeted this project to ensure that from henceforth, as at the completion rate, every district in this country would have a hospital. And we are also building some psychiatric hospital, and we are upgrading the Western Regional Hospital as well, so that going forward, you wouldn't have to travel to Kolebu or to Komfo-Anokye on referrals. At least across every region, we would have a huge hospital. And also, with the newly created 6 regions, we are building state-of-the-art hospitals over there, so that they will also be able to better serve the people over there. So government is very deliberate. We can have all this propaganda and politicking around these things, but I want to maintain that when it comes to health, we don't want to play politics with it. And that's how come we have invested a lot. Of course, there has been some delays. We started this project in August 2021 when the Agenda 111 was when shortcutting was done for it. And there has been some delays here and there, but we are very confident that by the end of this year and also by the end of next year, we would be able to expedite work, so that at the end of our term, at the end of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration, we would have a lot more hospitals functioning, so that Ghanaians will be better served when it comes to health.
All right, thank you so much. Richard, let's round up.
Yes, so
we're done with the conversation.
I'm happy you said at the end of their term.
Yeah.
And then when their term ends and President John Dramani Mahama's term comes, we're going to continue the good job we have done in this. So, President
but you are aware it is Vice President who will take over. No, he's aware he can't win because Ghanaians know what President Mahama has done before.
President John Dramani Mahama has promised.
Tell us a deliberate policy he put in place to ensure we have hospitals in these districts.
I always behave like President John Dramani, very calm and very humble. So
you never behave like that.
Anyway,
so President John Dramani Mahama
he has been president before, and yet we have districts that were not having hospitals.
The uncompleted projects that have left behind, when we come for the first year, we're going to make sure that we complete them.
Right, thank you.
Rosalyn,
when they came, did they complete all the projects when he started? No, ask him. That's a lie. Because when you came, you made
so I want to say thank you for being here this morning.
We also say thank you.
So this has been the News Flash segment, gentlemen. We are super grateful you could make it. We'll be here again. Richard Manarubi and Manasa Tabuahin are here every Monday morning, and they actually come with their facts, though. So I hope you enjoyed. We have other conversations coming your way, but don't forget that on the 14th of October, we are making our way to the National Theatre for the Sound of Music. It's actually the biggest musical theatre to hit our stage this year, and you have to be there. Tickets are selling at only 150 Ghana cedis for single, family of 4 for 500 cedis, and VIP is 250 Ghana cedis. So make your way there. Tickets are selling at Joy FM. You can go to Airport Shell and get your ticket as well, or go to Maxma 37. The tickets are being sold.
Give me the VIP, you give me the other one.
You didn't. You haven't even paid for it yet. Hurry up and pay.